Hi, thanks for joining us for the summary of the Ag Economy Barometer survey for January 2020. I'm Jim Mintert, Director of the Purdue Center for Commercial Agriculture, and I'm going to review some of the highlights of this month's survey with you. The Ag Economy Barometer did increase substantially in January compared to December. The barometer reading this month was 167. That's 17 points higher than it was back in December. The rise in the barometer was really attributable to a dramatic improvement in the index of future expectations. That index rose from a reading of 155 in December to 179. And of course, our survey this month was right during the time frame when the approval was taking place of the U.S.-China trade agreement, and that appeared to make people much more optimistic about what was going to take place in the future with respect to both their farming operation and U.S. agriculture. There was almost no change in the index of current conditions. All of the rise in the barometer was really attributable to the rise in the index of future expectations. When we asked people about their perspective on how quickly the trade dispute with China over soybeans would be resolved, we saw a big improvement. In December, 54% of the respondents in our survey said they thought that trade dispute would be resolved soon. 69% of our survey respondents felt that way in January. We also asked survey respondents whether or not they thought the trade dispute with China would be resolved in a way that was actually beneficial to U.S. agriculture, and that percentage rose from 72% that felt it would be beneficial in December to 81% in the January survey. If you average our results going back to the first time we asked this question back in March of 2019, the average has been 74%. So a significant rise and an improvement in optimism there with respect to the impact that trade agreement might have. The Farm Capital Investment Index, somewhat surprisingly, was a little bit weaker in January, a reading of 68 versus 72, suggesting that although farmers were more optimistic about the future, that didn't translate into their willingness to make large investments in things like farm equipment and buildings. Each year we've been asking producers what a reasonable annual growth rate is for their farming operation over the next 5 years. And each year we get a relatively large percentage of producers that say they either have no plans to grow or they plan to exit or retire from farming. But notice the change over time, especially since over the last couple of years, in the percentage of farmers that say they have no plans to grow. 2 years ago, 28% of the farms in our survey said they had no plans to grow. Last year it was 38%, and this year it climbed again to 44%. As perhaps producers are becoming more concerned about the volatility in agriculture and perhaps holding back on expansion plans in response to that increase in volatility. Producers are in the midst of making up their minds about which USDA program they want to sign up for under the 2018 Farm Bill. So we asked producers, which USDA program do you think you will choose for corn when signing up to participate for the 2019 and 2020 crop years? And I think our survey responses indicate the tremendous level of uncertainty out there. 57% of the respondents said they were uncertain with respect to which program they might sign up for. And then among those that have made a choice or made at least a decision, there's been a bit of a change relative to the 2014 Farm Bill sign-up. In 2014, the most common sign-up was for the Arc County program. This year, it looks like more people are interested in the PLC program. So a bit of a shift, but a lot of people still need to make up their minds before the March 15 sign-up deadline. That wraps up our summary of the January Ag Economy Barometer survey. The next Ag Economy Barometer survey will be released on Tuesday, March 3. And before then, we'll have a webinar focused on helping people make their 2020 crop insurance decisions. That'll be held on Monday, February 24th at 12:30 p.m. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of the Purdue Center for Commercial Agriculture, I'm Jim Mintert.